Colin Forrest Shultz was born on February 10, 1931, in the town of Rhinelander, Wisconsin, home of the Hodags, the mischievous, beloved, mythical creature known to all who roam the tall forest pines surrounding the area. Colin was raised on his father's Spruce Haven poultry farm in the nearby village of Hazelhurst. Growing up in the wild and beautiful North Woods, Shultz loved playing football, acting in theater, and singing as a tenor in his local Lutheran church. Answering the call to help his family, Colin Shultz left high school to work on his dad's farm for almost a year, raising, tending, and packing poultry for the market. During that time, Colin felt an even greater call to service. In January of 1950, 18-year-old Colin Shultz left his home to serve his country wherever that might lead him. He went south to Chicago and enlisted in the United States Marine Corps. Upon his enlistment, Colin's last name was misspelled, and all of Colin's military records spelled his name with a C. He made a habit of crossing out the C every time he saw it written. After 12 weeks of boot camp, Shultz headed to Camp Lejeune, where he trained in motor transport and graduated first in his motor vehicle operator's class. Shultz was given the job of truck driver and was assigned to C Company, 1st Motor Transport Battalion, 1st Marine Division, Fleet Marine Force. Shultz stepped off the USS President Jackson and onto the Korean soil of Incheon on September 18, 1950, just 3 days after the amphibious assault and seizure of that city. For Shultz, it was time to put his training to work. Once Incheon was secured, the old breed of the 1st Marine Division headed north to Seoul, which they quickly captured and secured for the UN forces. The war seemed to be going well for the 1st Marines. By December 10th, the soldiers faced worsening conditions. It was extremely cold, and snow brought visibility down to just 6 feet. Driving a military truck in these conditions must have been treacherous. Eventually, the road became impassable due to deep holes from motor shells and thick ice from a frozen mountain stream. As machine gun and sniper fire slowed down their efforts, the officers demanded that rations, tents, and other supplies be thrown into these holes so the retreat of the Marines could continue. It appeared that the Chinese had them surrounded. Just after midnight on December 11, 1950, Colin Shultz's truck was hit by a missile. With burning trucks blocking the road, C Company spent the next 6 hours fighting off a Chinese ambush. Shultz's partner and relief driver, Private First Class Kenneth Dvorak from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, was found by a fellow Marine 5 hours later, deceased and pinned inside of the truck. After a brief search, Colin Shultz's lifeless body was found 25 yards in front of the burned-out truck. He was identified by his class ring and a red scarf he had worn since they began the retreat from Koto-ri. Suffering from the loss that comes from a parent's ultimate sacrifice to his country, Colin's father debated where his son's body should be laid to rest. He eventually decided that the island of Oahu in the far-off territory of Hawaii would be the best place for his son. Today, the American Legion's Colin F. Shultz Post 318 in Lake Tomahawk, Wisconsin, provides an ever-present opportunity for us to reflect on his ultimate sacrifice. Before his son's remains were buried for the last time in the beautiful National Memorial Cemetery of the Pacific, Shultz's father had one last request of the United States Marine Corps. If it is possible, we should like to have Colin's name spelled correctly on his headstone. It seems to be the habit of everyone to think he knows better than we do how to spell Shultz. Everyone thinks it must be spelled with a C, and that is the reason Colin was listed as Shultz in the records. The fact that he was born Shultz without the C, and his father, grandfather, great-grandfather, and I don't know how many generations before, seems to make no difference. Thanks to his father, Colin Shultz's headstone is accurate. A final tribute to the man and the family who made the ultimate sacrifice for their country. From the North Woods of Wisconsin to the mountains of Korea, Colin Shultz saw more in his 1 year of service than many men might see in a lifetime. Rest in peace, Colin Shultz, and thank you for your service.